Lewis, what's going on? Now I'm pissed off. What did that happen? Somebody talk to me. What happened on that lap? Because his lap looked fine. What the hell? Yeah, something wasn't wrong right with that car because that doesn't make any sense. He was slower than his Q2 time, right? Kingsley. It
Yeah,
was something
that
happened
car,
because he was slower than his Q2 time.
that car obviously has damage. I don't think that's the only explanation I can have for it because his first sector was okay, not too bad. His second sector was still okay. That final sector, I don't know what happened to his car there. He
Because
just
that's
lost it,
odd.
basically.
He was his Q. That's slower than his Q2 time.
That's why I'm saying he was probably damage on that from that incident. It can't just be the end plate of that front wing. Something else happened to that car that it lost
Because
stability.
the car looked.
It
Because
doesn't
I'm
make
watching.
sense.
Bad.
I'm watching the onboard, and the car looked fine. He was turning. It didn't seem like he was having any struggles.
Yeah,
It looked
he
fine.
wasn't taking the corners the way he did in FP2 if in the Q2. He wasn't taking them. He was still fast, but he wasn't taking them with the same aggression that he was
Son of
doing
a
in
George,
Q2. It's
I'm
just
gonna come to Kingsland. I'm gonna link. I'm
And
gonna
I
slap
don't
him.
think it's George's fault this time because,
Vims,
like,
Vims, Vims, Vims. Don't let me pour
it
cold
doesn't
water on
matter.
you.
I mean, like,
He
because
had
he's
the only
Q3
place
time,
I
his
can I
first
can actually
Q3 time, like his first sector, he was fast, but then the second time he went, he was like 2 tenths
But
slower
that's what
in
I'm
the first
saying. That's
sector.
what I'm saying.
And then he was like,
His first run in Q3 was on used tires,
on used tires. He was
and
on used tires.
he only went what 2 tenths quicker on a brand
Yes,
new set. That
on the
doesn't
brand new.
correlate.
Yes,
That
it
doesn't
doesn't
correlate
come.
because he lost 2 tenths in the first sector
Vims,
in his last run
Vims.
as well.
That's the point we're trying to make. There's something else
Yeah,
wrong
so like
because
his first sector wasn't good. What
oh
do you want?
my God, Vims, you're not listening. We're not listening, are you? We know the first sector wasn't good, but we're wondering: is there some that is there a
And the
damage?
last sector
Oh
was
my
shit
God,
as well.
Jesus Christ! Are
So
you actually listening to what we're trying? No one's disputing that. We're wondering how did his pace fell off in comparison to his Q2 run before the
Yeah,
incident with George, because his pole time is slower than this time is slower than his Q2 time.
absolutely, 100%.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't checked
So
that.
then, how are you gonna come and you're gonna keep telling us he was slow and Q? We know that.
Track evolution? I don't know.
Like I said, that can obviously have them. I think maybe when they do the interviews, he might say
Because
something
he
different
should have
about
he
it.
should have easily out qualified Gasly.
Every other person except
Exactly.
Mass. Yeah.
He should have
Yes,
easily out
every other
qualified
person
because
except Mass. Yeah.
his pace in Q2,
Yeah.
literally, I mean, his Q2 time, I'm sure his Q2 time is better than Science.
His Q2 time, I guess
What did
times I haven't
Science
checked.
do?
It should be.
What did
I
Science
think
do?
one Science did 112. I think 112. So I can't remember the number
Hold on,
actually.
let me see if
It's
I
one.
can find. Let me go back and interact it. See if I can find the time because Lewis Q2 time was what a one
Oh
twelve
yes,
seven,
Science did 112.7.
and Lewis did a 112 what 7 in Q2.
One. No, I think no. Was it 112.7? He did a 112.9.
Hold on, let me see if I can find the times.
The only explanation I can have for that is that there's damage to that car because that final, especially when Mass is getting purple sector in sector two with that last round, those
Okay,
should be damaged.
okay. In Q2, Lewis did a 112.9,
Yes,
9.9,
112.9.
and he did a
Yes,
112.8.18 in Q3. That's barely a tenth. That's not less than a
off.
tenth
Yeah,
up.
it's not enough. Yeah, yeah,
Faster. That
yeah.
I mean, he was 3 tenths slower in sector one.
It doesn't correlate at all.
Yeah, something doesn't add up. And then he
Yeah, it
did a
doesn't correlate.
29.1 in sector two, which the best. Yeah, something doesn't add up.
There's so many. Hard a day,
I'm a
man.
bit. I'm gonna wait to hear what he has to say because that does to
Yeah,
me
let's
something
see what.
doesn't seem right because you'd have
Yeah, but the
anticipated.
good news is that they have a good race car too. So compared to every other person around him. So, and if Gasly gets a penalty, he goes to
Yeah,
P4, that
but
second
yeah,
row.
but
So,
I'd have preferred if he started P5 to be honest.
He might start P3. Who knows? Maybe they'll give Max a
No,
penalty.
that's not going to happen. I
No, Max is
prefer
not
if he
getting
started
penalty.
P5 because
Why?
P5 is on the cleaner side, on the left-hand side of the grid, isn't it?
No, that is not. Yeah, you have a point, but I think that Mercedes can easily clear
Well,
Lando Norris.
well, it depends
Yeah,
on how good his start is. It's a long run down to turn one, so
yeah, that's a long
if
one.
he
That
can
is,
if he
that's
can
true.
get a run on them, then it
Mm.
should be fine.
But the incident with George just to show that if you come out from the final turn very well, you can take with DRS, you can actually pass in the straight. So not that bad after the end of the day.
What's up, Ruby Rose?
Fuck George, okay? I'm blaming everything on George. Did I not say he was a snake? What did he do? What was he thinking? I don't get it. I am so pissed. I didn't even watch.
Ruby, it was his race engineer's fault. It wasn't his fault. The race engineer didn't
He
tell
has
him
a
what was
mirror. Look in
happening
his mirror.
behind him.
I don't
There,
care.
but yes, yes.
Look in his mirror.
No, Thanos, you're
I'm joking,
forgetting
dude.
that.
I'm just messing about, man. I'm
Okay,
not being
Science was
slick.
on his right,
I'm not
so he was
messing.
trying to make space for Science, and he didn't know Lewis was on his other side, so he just basically lost. I don't blame you really. I think his engineer should have done better.
So what was the gap? What was the gap to? What was the gap to Paul?
To what?
What was it? Yeah,
Paul?
what lose
I
his
think it
gap
was
to
like
Paul?
half a second,
It's like
wasn't it?
Lewis was half a second, yes.
Yeah, and I don't think he had the best lap. So I think
3 times. I still believe it was that 3 times
yeah,
from picking to that. Yeah.
I think there was another 2 to 3 tenths in that. He could have gotten down to a 12.7 or 12.6. I genuinely think he could have gotten down to a 12.7
I think the
at
gap
best.
to Mark today was what happened at the end of Q2. That's around that range, 3 tenths of differences between that Mercedes
Yeah,
and Mercedes.
I
Basically,
think so as well. Which I mean, given how everyone yesterday were literally
the
losing their
doom and
shit.
gloom of
Oh my
yesterday.
god,
Yeah,
the W14
yes,
is worse than the W13. Look at it. I'm like,
yeah.
you guys are such a bunch of bitches.
The
Seriously,
car
like
looked better.
you watch a
Yeah,
practice session of a car that's basically it's a Frankenstein car. They literally the car is
yeah.
an is a mixture of the W13, the W14, and what they're looking to the concept they're looking to move towards in
Yeah,
2015. They've
absolutely.
brought
I
the
agree.
biggest set of upgrades of anyone. New front suspension, new floor, new side. That's a massive on it. So it's going to take a
It's a
while for them to get
completely
into
different
understand.
car. Yeah.
And they, I mean,
We're still P5. We're still
yeah,
P5
but
channels.
I'm not disputing. Oh my God, Ruby, we're still P5, but considering the overall that they brought, it's still a progress. You have to look at
Yeah. Oh,
you
it's
have to
more than
look
a
at
It's a
how the
huge
car
progress. Yeah.
behaves on track. Is it behaving better than it did previously? Yes, it is. It literally is. It's a bit so if, obviously the more they evolve the package, the more they add performance to it, the better it's eventually going to get. Wrong or right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, like I said, it's a
Agree.
Frankenstein car. It's a mixture
They,
of what they have now
yeah.
and where they're looking to push the concept next year. Because if
Yeah.
they
I
I
agree.
think if they could have changed the chassis, it would have been much better for them. But
Yeah.
they can't
Much
change the
better for
chassis,
them.
and they
Yeah.
can't change. I read somewhere apparently they wanted to change
The back
the rear
suspension.
suspension as well, but they can't do it
Yeah.
because I
They
think the
can work on
gearbox
it.
is homologated already, so they can't
Yeah.
change it. So obviously, all of these has to be done for next year. But I mean, if you look at the car overall, if you watch Lewis's onboard,
Oh, the car is
it
balanced now.
didn't look like he was fighting it. He didn't look
No,
like
he
he
wasn't
was.
fighting.
You think, oh shit, this is gonna kill him at some point. He's gonna end up
Yeah.
in probably Nice or France or wherever it is. The way this car is driving, but he's able to attack
I,
the corners.
I remember the W13 last year in this same track. It was Lewis fought that car from beginning to the end. At some point, I actually thought he was going to crash.
Look, the car didn't look
Basically,
like it was going to kill him. That's progress, and I think after Friday, and this is one of the things. Sometimes I wish Lewis wouldn't do. Lewis couldn't play. Lewis would be the worst poker player in the world.
he doesn't have a
He
poker face.
doesn't have a
He
poker face.
just
He's
comes and
absolutely
say what he
useless
wants.
at poker because Friday you'd have thought the world was caving in. It's going to come to an end, and I'm thinking, dude, look at where the Haas is. The Haas is
He has
P3.
it finishing. We can't be slower than he
The
has,
Haas
after
is
all.
P3. That should tell
Yeah.
you have more performance in your package. It's a
Or
brand
maybe he
new
was just trying
package.
to throw
Just kind of
everyone off,
like,
and then
you
I
know,
I, I try to think maybe he was just trying to remove the pressure and just throw everyone off, like, okay, we are not there, and then boom, from nowhere. This quality, they could easily be 2 and 3 if everything worked together for them
Yeah,
in this
I
particular
genuinely think
qualifying.
I
But
think he left time on the table.
oh yes, yeah, he lost
He
time. He
left
left
a
a bit.
lot of
Him,
time on the
he
table
should, he would know that he left a lot of time on
because
the table.
the only improved by what, less than a tenth
It
to your
tense that
Q2
kind of.
time.
That is a
I'm not.
lot
I'm
of
yeah.
time.
Something's up. Something's up. Oh shit! Why so many people in here? I'm going. I have a movie.
You came
I
for
just let you know,
therapy,
guys. I have
and
a movie date. I have to take my little one to watch Little Mermaid. So we have to get our tutus on our mermaid costumes and so on. Who is it? I'm gonna go from what's that? What's that? I'm gonna go in clockwise. So Sumi, Ruby, Anthony, Hans Noble, and then Vims.
Hello, I'll make it really quick. The
Go
only
on.
thing I wanted to say, and I think you just said it, but the only good thing I'm seeing is that Lewis just seems more confident. Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like there's none of that fighting the car shit happening, and he just seems a little bit more like at ease with the car, and it's like the way he's meant to drive is just all coming out, and I'm really happy to see that. So I hope moving forward, this car just does get better. I think the problem is just the gap, That's just going to be really hard to close. But, oh well, positives. I feel like he had more pace in it for Q3, but I think the damage just fucked it up. So,
But
I
is the
know they
gap
changed
really
the
that?
way.
But is the gap really that? Is that really that important at this stage, compared to
I
looking
mean,
for
like, we're
car
getting
behavior?
impatient. No, I
Yeah, I
know, but
mean,
we're getting impatient. Like, no one wants to keep seeing Max win, like, every fucking race, every fucking pole. Like, it's just
because he has
frustrating,
a
You
teammate
don't
who's
want to
a
see it.
bum. His teammate's a
Well, I
bum. That's
know.
why. I mean,
I
I
know.
agree with
It's
you. Nobody wants to
boring.
see Max win, except Max Verstappen fans. Ugh, monkey,
Yeah, well,
funky
not just
smelling.
win, but like
Bum.
also like getting every single pole as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of there's no anticipation. You just kind of sit there and go, oh, okay, cool. He's done
Yeah,
it
he's gonna
again.
be. He's done it. Yeah. Oh, shock, horror, surprise. All right,
That's right.
but I'm not. I think for now I'm not going to be too overly focused on the time because I genuinely think I think we can all agree he left some time on the table, and I think once
Yep.
when he does his interview, he might say, you know what, I probably had another 2 tenths in me, but it just didn't work out. It is what it is. But I think it's the more important thing is the overall behavior of the car, and I think
Yes.
it's infinitely better than what we saw on yesterday. So it was Friday, right? Yeah,
You
saw
can just tell
yesterday.
he's got more confidence. You can
Yep.
just tell that he's driving with more confidence, and that's what we like to see, And that's how he performs his best when he's more confident with the car, and not struggling with random issues that are just coming up. So yeah.
Because he
Anyway.
makes most of his time in the braking zones, and he can attack the braking zones in this one. So which is good. So cool. All right,
Yeah.
thanks, Sumit. Ruby,
Oh, I didn't actually have my hand up. I've already said fuck George Russell. That's what I
oh,
wanted
you
to
had
say.
your hands up. You just wanted to repeat that again. Jesus. Anthony.
Well, it's safe to say that we can see, obviously, the improvements of this car. And as Simi was saying, that Lewis looks more confident in this car. So I know you were saying that we'll have to judge this in the next 2 to 3 races where this car's at in terms of the parts that they brought. But from what I'm seeing at the present moment, I think Lewis is more comfortable with it. And from what James Allison was saying is that they're now going to be bringing upgrades to every race going forward. And I think the Canadian Grand Prix is when they're going to change the rear wing in terms of how the DRS works on the Red
Is
Bull.
there? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you, but I've not. Is there some news report that they're getting a new rear wing? Because
No, it's the functionality of how the DRS operates under the Red Bull. I think that they've discovered how Red Bull have done it, and they're going to be utilizing that come the Canadian Grand Prix. So that's
where did you get that? Just
um,
asking, because I'm first time hearing this.
no, I saw one of the guys who I watch online, and there was other reports as well, just going around that they figured out in terms of how Red Bull are so fast when it comes to the when it comes to open up their flat in terms of the DRS, how it all works together. So Mercedes have found the way to utilize the DRS even more. So I think the Canadian Grand Prix, we should see something similar to how when the DRS opens, that they're able to get more when they're overtaken.
But it's just, but I think it's just more than DRS though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but in
it's
terms of
about efficiency.
yeah, and obviously, we know that when Red Bull they open up their DRS, it's just like wow, it's just like they've got more speed in it. So I think Mercedes will utilize that, but it's positive in terms of the direction of these upgrades. Now we can see that Lewis is so much more confident. Him putting in purple sectors and that, and previously before he wasn't doing that. So I think this is a good omen to say. I'm glad that.
But we still, at the same time, should be temporary, be a bit
Yeah,
cautious.
yeah.
Let's not,
No, I get you.
one can't. It could be a flash in the pan, but
It could be, but in terms of we saw last season when they brought the upgrades from Miami to Spain, how the car operated on this track, and I think these next
yeah. But
Grand
then
Prix going
what
forward,
happened after that? They
yeah.
performed
But
well
in
in
terms
Spain
of
last year, and then the next
yeah,
couple of races they were absolutely
yeah,
crap.
I know, but I just think that going forwards, they're going to be in a better position going forward, and I think that now that Lewis has found confidence within the car and he's able to drive the car more without correcting the steering wheel or the back not sliding out, I think that will give Lewis more confidence to really try and push the car to its limits, you know what I'm saying, going forward. But I'm confident about tomorrow. If he can overtake Gasly and Norris, which he will do, I say Lewis get a podium.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly possible because the guys who are really a threat for podium, Alonso,
Yeah,
Charles, they're pretty much starting. Where's
exactly.
Alonso starting?
Alonso starting, I think it's P9 or P10. But he's got an issue. He had an issue with his car in it. That's why.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I know,
I
but
don't care.
I know, but this is what I'm saying.
He should have binned it in. I'm sorry, I shouldn't wish bad on people, but it's
No,
Alonso. He should have binned it when he ran off in Q1,
yeah, but
and then just
in
then
terms,
lost.
no, just my quick point, and then I'm going to let the other speakers go. In terms of how this grid is today, and then for tomorrow's race, Lewis has the best opportunity to put this on pole going forward. You know what I'm saying? Like he will disperse Russell and Gasly in the first couple of laps. I'm certain of it.
Russell is starting what, P11.
Yeah, he's starting P11. I was just going to listen to what he's saying about his collision with Lewis. I'll watch that back in a minute. But yeah,
All right, then cool.
yeah,
All right, then,
that's
thanks,
about it.
Anthony.
No worries, man.
Who's that? Constantinople Vims.
Yeah, guys, how you doing?
What's happening? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just really disappointed now because, as you were saying, that I saw that P2. I saw that P2. It was just there, but then I don't know what Mercedes was doing that led to at the end of the start of Q3, the end of Q2, two guys colliding, and I think from the change of wing, I don't know if Lewis had the same confidence in the car that he had leading up to that moment.
Yeah, something happened. Something happened to the car after that collision because you can't calculate how he did a 12.9 in Q2 and then just did a smidgen 12.8 in Q3. You'd expect a bigger evolution than that, you know.
Exactly. You expected that, so that was really unfortunate. Then, but the car looks great. I mean, I saw people were bouncing on the track, especially Ferrari, and I didn't see much of that with Mercedes. I saw some of it yesterday, but they seem to have quietened that down. But just looking at it, I think Gasly may get a penalty, but for the race tomorrow, I think Lewis has a good chance.
I think
starting from where he is, he can get up onto the podium. Yeah, he can get up onto the podium. Verstappen is on that track. Max is just going to drive and leave everybody in that car. I don't think a win is on, but definitely a podium definitely looks possible.
For me right now, the most important thing is how the car behaves. And if the car behaves,
right.
Last week in Monaco, he said the car felt better. He can feel progress and he can lean on it. And he feels a bit more confident leaning on it. You saw that in qualifying. Right. You saw that today. So, which is good news. Long may continue.
That's true because they're like especially turn 5 and turn 3 and turn 13 that can really catch a car out if it's not set up properly.
And it's problem
And I
area.
didn't see him have to do too much correction because I was watching this onboard a lot during that session. And
turn 12 was his
it's,
problem area most of from yesterday, and I think today he
yeah,
literally ironed that out. He didn't have. I think he had one moment in Q1. I think he had a moment in
right,
Q1 where he nearly dropped it. It's a similar thing that what happened to George in that exact same corner happened to him. So apart from
right, exactly.
after that, he was pretty much he nailed that turn 12 every single lap thereafter.
Every single lap, and trust me, it really builds. It gives us hope for the future that the car is going to get better. And this, I think they said they're bringing updates almost every race from here on in.
Yeah, because they brought a small tweak. I think that there was a tweak to the diffuser as well. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
yeah. So it bodes well. It bodes well. So I'm hopeful for the race tomorrow. But what happened to George? Because he seemed like he was struggling.
He was at sea.
I don't know. I'm gonna say that's down to setup. Because if Lewis is doing way better in the other car, I'm gonna assume that's setup.
Because I think he wasn't getting heat into his tires for some strange reason. I think he was having problem generating.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't getting. Oh, he was. Well, that's unfortunate. But I think probably if they pick the right strategy, he can still come up. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he finishes like P5 or P6 tomorrow.
This is what I think.
I think
he's going to start on the hard tires, go long, and then he's going to do a contrast
exactly.
strategy. Start hot like he did last week. Go on the hard tires, go long as possible.
Yeah.
And probably pray for a safety car again. I mean, that's pretty much George's strategy lately.
I don't think it's going to be a one-stopper. It's going to be like two stoppers.
Yeah, but even so, he's still gonna go as long as possible and pray for a safety car, and then get some free position based on safety car. That's pretty much been George's strategy the last couple of races.
Yeah.
I've never seen a man benefit more from safety car than anybody in such a long time. So.
Yeah, man, it definitely worked for him. It
definitely has worked for him. My luck and your luck is not the same. Lewis might try that shit and backfire on him. So
exactly, exactly, yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. So I mean, even though disappointed where we're starting, it's still a good. It's looking good for the race tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Just hope everybody survives into turn 1, and then that's it.
Except Max. Okay, maybe the Ferrari. The Ferrari had a good race pace on Friday too, FP2. Except that, maybe, but with better strategy, I think we can get to P2 tomorrow.
I read the Amos breakdown from practice yesterday from that Junaid guy tweet, and apparently Mercedes was saying, fuel corrected and all things corrected, their race pace was pretty much on par with Ferrari and Aston yesterday, and they were pretty much, and if they were ahead of Ocon. I think it was Ocon, Alpine. So I think all things well. It's going to be a matter of who manages their tires.
Yes, absolutely, I agree with you.
If you can manage your tire, if you can get your tires to work and you manage them, you're more likely in a good position. But we know the Ferrari eats tires like no matter what circuit it's on. I think if they were driving on ice, they'd still chew up the tires.
What's the weather prediction tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I've not seen. Someone might be able to tell me, but I don't know.
I just wanted to add that Gasly might also get a penalty, and we might actually start P4. I mean, also, I just wanted to say, I don't know what Russell was doing there. That was just, I don't know how he didn't see him.
I think that's down to his engineer. That's his engineer's fault.
Why did
he move aside? He moved aside
to
the right side.
He was avoiding Sainz. Sainz was on the other side. He was trying.
He took a switch change from Sainz.
For the toe. Sainz was way too far to the right side for Russell to even get the toe.
No, he will have to.
No, that's a problem.
Watch it again. He will have to come back to the racing line.
Excuse me. I think
that's a problem.
I think Russell saw him in the mirrors and saw the closing speed between him and Hamilton. Moved aside a little bit, and Hamilton saw the opening. There was enough room for a whole car.
No, that's not what happened. He was focused.
No,
that's not what happened.
That's not what happened. Are we watching the same things here?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here.
No.
What's the jump speed?
It's not about benefit of the doubt.
If you look at it, I don't think he was looking at his left-hand mirror. I don't think
At
he
all. He
genuinely
was looking
expected
at
Lewis to
time.
be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was looking at
Sorry, Thanos, you need to change that P5 to P4. Gasly's got a penalty.
Oh,
Yeah,
it just came
I'd
out.
have preferred P5. I would have preferred P5 because it puts Lewis on the cleaner side of
Cleaner
the grid.
side.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll
Okay.
take it. I'll take it either way. So
Yeah,
you
P4
know,
for Lewis.
it should
P4 for Lewis
it should have
tomorrow.
been P2, but
Yeah, I know.
we
or
take the small
or
victory.
P3.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
damage caused by Russell hampered the car a little bit, or maybe
No, I
it
think the
just
damage
spooked Lewis out.
the damage was to the end plates. It wasn't
End plate.
it
Yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't to the wing.
to
I don't
the
know,
wheel
man.
or anything.
I
It's
think
the end
Yeah.
plate.
maybe flew underneath the car or something. I don't know, because the
It
pace of
could
the car just wasn't the
he could
same.
have damaged the car going when he ran onto the dirt. That could have been
Yeah.
something that caused some damage underneath it. So,
I
but
believe
we
that
don't know.
too.
We don't know. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna give George the benefit of the doubt.
You
I
want
don't
his,
think he genuinely knew
I'm not
that
here to
I'm
Lewis
not.
defend
was
I'm
there.
Russell.
not the
I am not
biggest
going to
supporter
defend
of
Russell.
George. I
I
don't
am
like
not
the guy,
defending
but
Russell.
I'm not
Neither
blaming
am I.
him.
I'm none two plus. I'm pretty neutral with him either way. I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? Lewis teammates are Lewis teammates. I look at them as people, as not a lambs to the slaughter.
I don't know, man.
I don't
Behaviors
really have
like
a
that,
preference
Yeah.
about them. So, but I don't think
Yeah.
we can
and he didn't
genuinely
take any
say he.
accountability.
Huh?
I don't think George took any accountability. All
Yeah,
he
He
did
but
was,
he
apologized. He
can't.
apologized.
Yeah,
oh,
He
did he?
I think
apologized.
Okay, I may
it
have to
was
Yeah,
listen to
it
it
was his
again.
He
race engineer.
apologized.
His
He
race engineer
apologized.
only told him he only told him that Science was behind him, but he didn't tell him that
Yeah.
Lewis was actually behind Science, and the gap Lewis had was the distance
Yeah,
between Lewis and Science.
I think George should start last for impeding.
Yeah. Okay, okay, cool. You don't like George. So I'm not even gonna. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna.
I don't have a
I don't know.
problem
I
with
think
George. I
George is a
think
little
he's
bit of a snake.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, last week he showed
He
himself to
could.
be of a snake. I mean, last week was a bit of a
No,
yeah,
he's been
dude.
doing it
That's
Yeah,
since
yeah,
okay.
last
no,
season, guys. He's been
no,
doing it since
definitely. When
last
he
season.
asked that, made that request, I was like, "Yo, George, shut the hell up,
All
please."
right, he's been doing
Asking
it
to
since
get a
last
shot
season.
at Ocon didn't make no sense because you're talking
Didn't make any
because
sense in Monaco when the conditions are changing. You want to
but
try and do a
even if the
swap around? Are you
conditions
crazy?
but even if the condition wasn't changing, you shouldn't have been asking because you qualified where you qualified. Lewis qualified where he qualified. So Lewis is in the position
Exactly.
because he out qualified you. Why should you then be given an opportunity to do something because you feel like you're actually quicker? And the thing is, he then made
And then he
two other
dropped off.
requests. He made a second
Yeah,
request. The statement from him about, oh, I'm right on Lewis's gearbox here, is him basically saying, yeah, I'm quicker than Lewis. Come on, guys, invert the cars. That's pretty much what he was implying.
yeah, but he
Lewis
was
is
trying. But why
disrespectful.
on earth would you try to even do that at Monaco? That makes no sense. And
Russell
two,
is disrespectful.
when Lewis was when Lewis actually decided to go faster, he dropped him like in 2 3 laps. He was 8 seconds in front of him.
Yeah.
8 seconds up the road. That's crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna give somebody else a chance to speak.
Hey, and
All right,
Santamo,
guys.
where you calling from? Where you from? Are you in Jamaica now?
Um, Jamaica.
Which side?
Kingston. I'm in
Dude,
town, Manning's out.
I know
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Kingston. We're in Kingston.
Yeah, yeah, man. I can tell the Jamaican. I can hear the Jamaican in your voice,
You
man.
guys
So the
In
should
your
go to
accent.
the
the
flag in
DMs
my
and talk.
my name didn't in my profile didn't tell you
Oh
that.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Thanos and Hans, Sandra, whatever, go to the DMs and communicate. This is a space.
Going to the what?
Okay, no problem.
Dude, are you gonna boss me up in my? I told you don't. I keep telling you I'm addicted. You can't boss me up in my own thing. What's wrong with you? I set the rules. Anyway, all right, then, cool. All right, thanks, Unstantable. We link again.
Yeah, man. All right, guys.
Vims,
Have a good one.
sorry, Vims, they cut in front of you. They have no manners. They weren't brought up properly.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I know like George is a snake, but I don't think he hit Lewis on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't think if it was Nico, I would think that, but not like
Yeah,
George. He's not there yet.
I
Okay,
agree
guys.
with that. I don't think.
Did we see George's on
And
board?
also,
He
like,
looked to the left as the wheel was right next to him.
Yeah, but
He looked to the
he had to
left.
move. But he was coming back onto the racing line. I genuinely don't think he saw
He
Lewis. I don't think.
didn't.
I don't think
I don't
he would
even
have done
like the
that.
guy, but you can't fault him for what happened there. He didn't do it deliberately. He didn't see Lewis.
yeah.
He
You
saw
know what? We'll have.
when he came out from the I said it before. When he came out from the
Okay.
final turn, he was asking his race engineer, who is behind. He told him Sainz was coming on the lap, and then he asked again, who else is coming? The race agent didn't tell him anything. By the time he came to the final turn, his radio cut off. He was saying hello, hello. Nobody was responding. So you can't blame him for what
Oh
happened.
dear.
I can't blame him, honestly. He wasn't.
Okay, I think we'll kind
So
of
anyway,
revisit this
I'm
conversation
I'm
in
just coming
the
in for
next
the
few
George
races.
slander. I'm coming in for
And
the George slander, and I'm gonna say I've said this multiple times. George is Max in a Mercedes. That's it. I'm out.
he's a snake. He's a dick. That's what he is.
um,
Well, he's given people a lot of reason not to trust him. So you can see why Kingsley is
You
fighting
can
him
still
for
be
the
objective
job.
when you see certain things. There are places where I can tell
Yeah,
you,
but
George,
probably, yeah.
yeah, but not this
Probably
one.
he had a
Yeah.
visibility issue. Yeah, probably he had a visibility issue, honestly.
Yeah,
But here
I
they
am not
are.
here to defend
They may
George
give him
at
a
all
penalty.
whatsoever.
That's clearly obvious in this one. I'm not his biggest defender. If you check my tweet, I don't like him.
You
But on
defended
this,
him pretty hard, man.
yeah, on this one, yes, because it's not his fault. I actually
What?
went.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not his fault. I went on him in Monaco for what he was doing, trying to force the team to give him a position ahead of Lewis. But on this one, I was actually went to listen to his on board. It wasn't. That could have happened to anybody. I don't think he would deliberately want to ram into Lewis on the straight. But then again, like
I've heard drivers talk about how they can actually sense when another car is right behind them. How do you
yeah,
not see it or hear it?
if he was
In
just
your
him,
mirrors like that, after trying to go get a tow, you tell me you can't see him in your mirrors
yeah, but it was
that
but
close?
But hold on, Jump Street. Hold on. Don't you think he's also putting his car at risk by deliberately doing that?
exactly.
I mean, come
No,
on, think about it.
I think he's lacking in awareness. That's what he's lacking in. Cause he moved to the right side
No,
to get
that's
what
not
Yeah,
tow?
but
Sainz was
he
going
was
20 miles an hour. What tow you gonna
yeah,
get from 20 miles an hour?
but you still can pick up a tow from someone going 20 miles an hour or whatever.
yeah.
On the
Science
dirty
was
side
going
of
at
the grid,
no,
Thanos.
Science was going at a good enough pace for him to do that because
On
he
the
didn't
dirty side
pass
of the
Science
grid.
until he didn't pass Science until he was more than halfway down the track. So,
I don't know.
it made sense for
I'm looking at Denny's thing right now, and it's clear to me as day that there was no tow to be gained there at all.
all right, cool.
I don't. Okay.
All right,
Let's just
you're not
agree to
gonna budge,
disagree on
so
this one.
we're not gonna budge. So, all right, it's all
Yeah,
good. It's
it's
all
all
good.
right. It's
All
all
right,
good.
who else? Mo, what's up? Because you've been Mercedes' biggest hater. What you have to say today? Go on.
Oh no, I'm here to actually say I'm glad they changed the concept. Lewis is confident, so let's go, and that's it. I needed to be their
Mo
hater
got
for 18
kidnapped.
months.
Mo got kidnapped.
Are you kidnapped,
Someone
Mo?
called
Are
the
you sure
police.
that's
Mo got
Mo?
kidnapped. This is not Mo.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
an
Blink,
imposter.
blink twice if you're kidnapped.
If you,
Kingsley, you're also on this one. No, for real.
yeah.
I'm glad they changed
Yeah,
the
you're right.
concept, and
Lewis
that's
is
that.
confident on this car. He can actually lean on it than before, so I think he can.
And that's
Look,
that.
man, those laps in Q1 and Q2, if you watch them, you'd realize, yeah, this is the Lewis we all know.
Yeah.
We all know. He just looks. He literally put the kibosh on George this
Oh no,
weekend.
no,
He
George
spanked
didn't
him.
have an answer.
He showed him a clear
Damn
way to
right.
say, yeah, I'm still that
Damn
dude.
right.
Yeah,
I'm still that dude.
he didn't have an answer at all. Well,
He still, showed George, say, yeah, I'm still that dude. Don't ever get it twisted, dude. I'm still that guy.
was
But
the
what's the qualifying now? 3-4-4?
no? I think it's 3-4-3 or something like that. Yeah.
4-3 to George
Yes,
still, isn't it?
yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, cool. But no one's talking about that anyway. But
If,
listen. But okay, one last Perez. What? Okay. Seriously.
what was Paul last
uh,
year in Spain? Okay, well, the other part of the track was still there, so you can actually compare like for like. So
well, you want? I think with the new layout, they're probably about 5 seconds quicker. I
quicker,
think.
yeah.
Let me just check and I'll tell you what Paul was last year.
It was Charles. Charles was, I think, what 118.
Charles did a 180
Yeah.
in 7.
Okay.
So 7. So they're 6.5 seconds because Max was what 112.2.
Yeah, was it 1-3, 112 or something? I can't remember now.
I think it was a 112.2 he did. So there's 6.5 seconds quicker.
Okay.
But then the track is what 18 meters shorter.
Shorter.
So I mean, it shows you how fast a Formula 1 car travels in 80 meters, you'd say?
Yeah.
6 seconds.
That's approximately 6 seconds. That is. Yeah, it looks like it can. Okay, over the length of the track, yes, that's the range. But the chicane that was removed, that corner that was removed, are you saying that was what 6 seconds? I don't think so.
You'd be surprised.
I don't think so. I think it's also
because
these cars have also improved too. So I don't think.
No, because remember the entry speed. If you go on the old chicane, that would have been where turn. So they would have. How many corners did they remove? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So how many corners is on it now? 15.
Yes.
So 8 corners, and you have to remember the entry speed into turn on the first right-hander would have been significantly slower by
absolutely.
about 100 kph.
Yeah.
Would have been 6. So and then you're talking about the average speed on the apex of the other 2 corners would have probably been about 70 or 80 compared to you are actually by the time you get to that last corner,
you're lifting just a bit and you're driving at 250 or 270.
Yeah, because remember, once they get to turn 14, they pretty much dismiss turn 14 as a corner.
Yes,
because that's pretty much flat.
That's true.
So they're taking turn 14 at over 200 compared to where the old turn 14 would have been.
Yeah.
They would have been taking that probably like
100,
150 or 100.
Yeah,
probably 100.
120, 100, 120. Yeah, that range. Yeah.
So you can the numbers in some ways kind of adds up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, like for me, my overall, I'm kind of annoyed with that Lewis didn't get the lap to get the time to put him on the front row. But I think for me, the overall more important thing is how does the car look? How did he look in the car? He looked far more settled. There wasn't this, sawing at the wheel constantly. You're thinking, oh, this shit. When is it gonna snap? When is it gonna snap? You didn't see that today.
Yeah.
And that's good. And qualifying has been the weak point.
Yeah.
So I think given a couple more races, the more data they have, the more they start to fine tune it, understand it. I think we see a generally a massive improvement. And it's like I said, it's a Frankenstein car. It's where they want to be next year. And if this is where they can get, we just have to hope that this is the start of something progressive, moving upwards rather than being stagnant or going backwards.
You can see the direction they're actually going. Yes, I think the car is, for me, the car is better, a lot better. If this was last year, the W13 after FP2, you can't set it back again to get it. Any small change, the car is just completely gone. At least they have a window where they can set this car up, so even if they make mistake, they can still come back and it's still.
And if this was the car that started the season where probably would have been.
If this was the car that debuted, say, in Bahrain, I mean, we will not be having this conversation.
But remember, Kingsley, we were saying that I'm gonna die on this hill that this car was what they wanted to bring to Bahrain.
Yes.
But they didn't. But they chose not to on the basis that they want to see where the current package is that the previous iteration of the W14 was. And that would give them an idea of, okay, do we carry on this path or do we actually, So they did say it's race 6 before you're going to start see them making progress. And Toto said, they could go backwards to go forwards. So don't get, but
if it wasn't for the budget cap, they could actually bring it separate chassis to that track.
And that's the problem, you implement such a massive regulation change, and you put a cost cap in at the same time. It's akin to what they did with the power units in 2014. And when they introduced the token system.
Yes. I heard Brondo was saying in commentary that he's practically begging Ferrari and Mercedes to put a challenge to Red Bull. I'm like, what universe are we right correctly? Because I've never heard him say anything like that before. Like, who's going to put pressure on
Red Bull? Because they're starting to realize that Max is going to run away.
This is not good for
his teammates are bummed. The numbers are already showing. Viewership is dropping. They're losing money.
Yeah.
So
they have to. Okay, but if we're talking about Perez, why not talk about Charles too? What happened to Charles?
So it's Ferrari. What do you want me to talk about?
But if anything happened to Ferrari, we'll be talking about science, for example, not Charles.
It's Ferrari, dude. What do you want me to talk about?
Oh God!
What we're going to talk about? It's Ferrari. It's like we've watched this long enough to know that Ferrari is not a serious organization.
But that's not. No, but let's be honest.
What do you expect? What do you expect?
But for example, science is P2, for example. That's not just Ferrari's fault. That's Chas.
Yeah, but Lewis is P4 and George is P11.
Well, you can argue they had a crash, a mini crash, kind of. That is an estimated circumstances, but you can't say that for Chas, for example. What happened to Chas? Nothing. He was running on the track and he couldn't just get it lap times together.
I think that he has some damage to his car. I think that might be the issue with him. All right, but anyway, Kingsley, we have two people, and I'm going to give these two the last talk because I need to go. What's that? Engineer Salim, and then Sean C. You get the finishing.
Hello, everyone.
We're good. What's happening?
Fine, thank you. Yeah. All I want to say is, I feel well. This new W14 we have, this is something that we should have changed from last year, I think. And yeah, they never listened to Lewis. They finally did, but we've lost so much ground in terms of development. So let's see what we can do with the current iteration and upgrades. But I just want to know where do you think we're going to finish this season in terms of constructors? Because I don't believe we can beat that Red Bull.
No, I think P2 is probably where we're going to finish.
We can just finish P5 and then use the time to develop the car in the wind tunnel or whatever.
Why you want to go P5?
Yeah,
if you finish P5, you lose money.
We have more time in the wind tunnel.
Yeah, but you're talking about money. It also
Mercedes doesn't need the money, Thanos.
Everybody needs money, dude.
Yeah, not Mercedes.
Everybody,
not Mercedes.
They need the money. To assume they don't need the money because they're Mercedes.
I'm just saying that. I would rather we have a lot of wind tunnel time to work on the new car coming in. So the P2 really is, for me, it doesn't make any difference, honestly. So we can.
But I think even last year, I think was it Mike Elliott or Andrew Shovlin who said they would rather finish P2 or P3? I can't remember. P2. It would be better for them because the wind tunnel time would be marginal. They would rather take the prize money and finish P2.
And you have to remember, you can have all the wind tunnel time. It's a matter of how you can have less wind tunnel time. It's how you use it. You have to just make sure.
And talking about wind tunnel time, like with all the penalties that have been poured down at Red Bull, it doesn't seem to have any effect on them. They're still going fast as ever. Because I think Max could have gone faster during Q3. Then he had to abort the final lap because he was already ahead of everyone.
Yep, the car is fast. Very fast.
Unfortunately.
That wind tunnel penalty was never going to affect.
It wasn't going to affect them. We already knew that.
It wasn't going to do that.
The
best way they could have affected them is by deducting the financial penalty from the budget, because then that means they can't bring any developments.
Spend that. Yeah.
They can't do any developments. So I don't see the point. I don't see the point of it.
Are you in another vehicle, Thanos?
No, I was just walking up our building. I'm outside now.
Okay. All right. It's all good. So tomorrow, Lewis gets P2, and then it's all.
Yeah, hopefully we'll just get this confirmed that Gasly, because I know Gasly, he impeded science, which will go to the
Sean,
but
Sean, Kingsley, yeah. Sean C, go on.
Okay, Sean C is the next person, naturally. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Anthony can speak as well. Not a problem. How are you?
No, go on, Sean. No, I've already spoken. Go on, Sean.
Oh, have you? Okay. How are you guys? I know you good. You guys good?
We're good, man.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy with well, with the development of what actually happened from FP2 yesterday. If you look at it, Kingsley, we were what 1.5 seconds off pace
Yeah,
yesterday,
it was practice.
and
I think a lot of
yeah,
people were freaking out from that. I think
yes, there was a lot of negativity on Twitter. I try not to bring that
yeah, I
nonsense, to
think
be
Yeah,
honest,
Louis
but
comment didn't help
Jordan was
either.
having a hissy fit.
Yeah,
Jordan was having a hissy fit yesterday.
yeah.
right, and Thanos was just trying to calm everyone down, but it wasn't working out.
But then again, Lewis's comment didn't help either. So I think all of
Yes,
that put
yes, yes.
together, everybody was just panicking at
Yeah,
the end of the day, basically.
exactly. So, obviously what they worked on, because Make had to go back into the sim last night, didn't he?
Yes,
Came back on the track this morning. So whatever they worked on, it worked better. They are now what? So we're like, is it
I would
0.45?
I would
How
believe
far up were
Lewis
we
was
from?
experimenting with that low downforce rear wing because I
Yeah, yeah,
think he wanted to
yeah.
try it. I don't think he genuinely believed they have enough downforce to actually run on this track without a rear wing. He wanted to try it
This
and
is
to
it.
see what it would do for them. It wasn't doing anything because he was sliding all over the places. There was no downforce
Yeah.
on the
But that's the whole
yeah,
point of practice,
yeah,
isn't it? You try with high or medium, whatever it is, and then the team come up with the best setup,
absolutely.
once they're done all their final sims. So it looks like that's worked out well. And second, I'm just going to defend George again, like you, Kingsley.
Yeah.
I'm going to defend him for this second weekend, bro. There's just no way, whatever, I know people are going off at him right now, but there's no way he's done that on purpose at all. That's just a racing incident. I hope he doesn't get a penalty for that. There's
He,
no way he did him into to impede Lewis
he
or
would
anything like
likely
that.
get a penalty for it because
Yeah, because of the damage, I guess
yeah,
that he
because you
caused to the
are
other
basically
car.
forcing another
Mm.
driver off the track. It doesn't matter if it's your teammate,
Yeah,
you're gonna get a
yeah,
penalty.
and he didn't see him. I know he's gonna say he didn't see him, but
Yeah, it's not
you buy
enough.
it,
I didn't say him. It's not
Mm,
enough. Yeah, he will probably get a penalty.
exactly. So they'll probably give him something, I guess.
I,
But you know what? For people going off at him, it's no, man. It's not deliberate
yeah, no, it wasn't
because
deliberate at all. I agree with
you
you.
know what I mean.
I agree with
He even
you,
he even said
100%. Yeah.
sorry. And even Nico was saying, Lewis needs to apologize
Oh,
because he
I
should
was
have
going to
known as
mention
well that it's
that he didn't know that
yeah.
George has. He was saying Louis
George
should
done a lap.
apologize when
Yeah.
they told him, but George has already
Mm,
apologized for it. And then he comes back and can say, "Well, George has apologized. Well, Louis also has to apologize." I'm like, "Dude,
yeah.
are you fucking okay? You just told you
That's
the guy
Nico
that
for
is
you,
wrong
don't
already
it?
apologized. He didn't say Louis, and you're
Yeah.
saying no.
Yeah.
He should
Yeah.
apologize too. He should. Oh God, the guy doesn't apologize. Pretend.
Yeah, so no, you know what? This is the first time the team has got to work with this upgrade.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've learned so much, and you know what? From what they do after Spain, it can only get better.
Yeah,
We go.
don't forget last year too. The W13 was good here, so I
It
will.
You
was, it
can't
was,
say it
yeah.
can. You
I will.
can't say it can only get better. You can only hope it gets
You can
better.
only hope, yeah,
Don't say
because
it will.
Well,
yeah, the
Don't say
well,
it will.
W13 was also
they
very good
did
here
say they're
last
gonna be
year.
bringing upgrades, so I hope it will get better.
But you're right. Mercedes has never brought
Mm,
an upgrade that I think didn't work. At least give
mm,
them something going forward.
exactly.
So they can always
Yeah,
improve
and
on
and
that.
and of final thing you were touching on Ferrari yourself, Kingsley. Mate, don't forget what we said last weekend. They alternate on who's going to fuck up, and they do this every race. Last weekend was it Sainz trying to race Charles into who was about to pit for intermediates. I mean, it's crazy what that team
Oh
does.
God,
I don't know if there's any leadership or organization or whatever it is that they do there. Something needs to change.
something is not working with Ferrari.
I do feel for the Ferrari spaces. Like what do they have to do, and what do they have to do to celebrate? I know
But
Carlos is P
today,
two feels
honestly,
like a loss.
I don't think there was anything the team did differently. I think Charles was struggling with that car, getting
His
heated
tires
with
were not
tires.
warming up.
So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's
he
it.
was
Yeah,
because if you look at it, it's George in the Mercedes, it's Perez in the Red Bull, it's Charles in the Ferrari.
yeah,
So the
yeah. It's the
top two,
tires. It's the
it's
tires.
just
Yeah,
happening to them. So it can't just be a coincidence. Probably the tires
yeah.
wasn't. Yeah. Yep.
And just final bit. Sorry, I know Naomi when he was. I don't know if you've seen the Sky Sports interview when she was talking to Christian. You know, she pretty much put it bluntly. I think Jordan is mentioned in this space that there's just no competition for Red Bull. What's his take on that now? Because remember, he used to blab about, anyone can
Mercedes
win
is
in the
killing the
Hamilton car.
sport. Yeah.
Anyone can win in the Hamilton car. It's a straight line speed car,
Yeah,
whatever
you can drive
whatever
the
bullshit
car
he
in
was
straight
coming up
lines.
with.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what we're getting now from Max, isn't it? So that's
yeah,
pretty much how she asked him, yeah. And,
yeah.
and he goes, yeah, weather, reliabilities. He's just going off other things rather than we might be
They
scared of
can actually
Alonso.
defend it. It's indefensible. I heard them saying
It's
you
a
can't.
job.
I read an article where someone said you can't punish them for developing the best car and whatnot. I'm like, isn't that what Mercedes was
Yeah,
doing when you were asking the FIA
yeah,
to save the sport? But
yeah, yeah.
I don't really
Every year he
begrudge
was
them
like,
for.
they need to do something. They need to do something.
Yes. I don't begrudge them for building a great car. I think other time is left for them to catch up to the Red Bull.
Yeah.
But at least they should have consistency when you're saying these things. Because a couple of
Nah,
years
they
ago,
don't.
it was
That
Mercedes is
Christian
killing the
Horner for you.
sport and whatnot, and now
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that way
yeah.
around again. So
And they kept saying things like anyone can win it. Even Max used to say, "Oh yeah, anyone can win in that
in
Lewis."
fact, yeah, they said 90% of
No
the driver
disrespect
on the
to him, but
grid can win that car.
anyone can win in that car. That
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
Ocon, Orlando, Carlos, who are proving to, get to these top positions with the cars they have.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can actually win in that Red Bull
Oh
car.
yes,
So
oh yes.
there we
It's
go.
just Perez is just useless. Otherwise, he
Yeah,
will be giving Mass a serious competition in that car.
yeah,
And, and,
he's
and,
done
and
him.
that's why you can actually look back at the Mercedes dominance. I say at least Bottas on a good day can actually
Could win.
challenge Lewis Hamilton. Unlike what
Yep.
Perez is doing right now, he can't even challenge for it.
And by the way, Kingsley, we never used to dominate all the tracks. We would go to Monaco, we know we'd lose. We'd go to
Yeah,
certain tracks
expected
like
that. Yeah,
Zandvoort, we know
agree.
we would lose. Whereas this season, I think if anyone is going to put a bet, it's for Red Bull to win every
Every
race.
race, yeah.
As long as they finish it, they'll win it.
The only
Um,
races I can think they may not win are probably
mm,
sprint weekend, where you have to just set the
okay,
car up once.
this is it.
If you
Yeah,
miss it, you miss it. Otherwise,
you're done.
on pure
Otherwise, yeah.
speed, nobody's catching them. This team is gone,
No,
basically.
no way.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Max could have gone quicker on his
Oh yes, his
second
middle
run on
sector was purple
April Brake.
actually. His middle sector
Is
was purple, and he had
he
to.
decided to just back off. Otherwise, would have finished. I know you guys were talking about it with
Mm,
Thanos. He would have been like 7 seconds ahead of the pole lap
yeah,
that we
I
had
think
last
he
year.
could have got him down to say low 112 or high 111.
Yeah,
Because he had the speed.
like
His
11.9
first
or
sector
something.
was
Yeah,
not so good actually, but his middle sector was purple,
yeah,
and he could easily
it
have
was
put
good.
a faster sector in the final part and get pulled with that. But
Yeah,
it's where we are at the
frustrating.
moment. Can you say it basically?
There's no competition. I do hope we get a bit of rain tomorrow. I do hope we get a bit of
Uh,
rain tomorrow. I think they were talking about rain potentially. So I
for
do hope we
forecasted
get a
for the
bit of
race.
rain. Yeah, for the race,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't see that. Okay, well,
Yeah,
that
they
should be
say there's a
good.
chance of
At
a
least,
rain,
yeah, they must.
40 to 60%. So that's good.
I watched the F. I think FP
Because
two.
if it's not raining, it's gonna win it.
FP2, I watched FP2 earlier where, I mean, I'm sorry, F2 earlier where the rain came while the race was going on. It was a changeable condition. So they had to switch from
Oh yeah, yeah.
wet tire to slick, and
So
it
soft,
changes up
yeah.
everythly completely. So if we have that tomorrow,
This is it.
maybe
So
someone
that
can take
yeah,
advantage of
we
it.
would love that exactly.
All
And
right.
yeah, hope Lewis have a good race, and I reckon we'll probably get on podium tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I
Yeah,
think he's got the
we
pace to
have
do
a
it.
car
Yeah,
that can be on podium with Lewis. I'm
yeah,
hoping for that too. Thanks, John.
yeah.
Appreciate that. And
A nice one. Yeah.
Anthony, where are you? Your hand is up and you disappear. Where's the host?
Is Daniel
Yeah,
Rana?
yeah,
Thanos is gonna.
I'm here, man.
Kingsley, what's the strategy for that podium? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a two-stopper because with that the final part of that track with the chicane removed, you now have high-speed section in that place. The tires are going to be screaming at the end of the day. So I think it's going to be a two-stop race. Um, where do we start from? Medium, probably to hard. Some people are going to start on medium, and then I'm sorry, hard. Like somebody like George starting from P11 or somewhere like that. He will start on hard and then go forward from there. But for those at the top, I think they will be starting on medium. Then from medium they go to hard. Probably hope if there's a safety car, you can take advantage of it. That's just it. Otherwise, it's a two-stopper. That's my thinking because this car will eat your tires a lot. So teams are prepared for that, basically. That's what I think. I'm speaking to myself.
Kingsley, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Ah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
the host is gone. He's frozen us out.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Is Kingsley there? Is it gone off or is it?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna drop the stream now, so I'll catch you guys later on. All right.
All right. Okay. All right.
No worries. Good luck. Hopefully we have good race tomorrow, guys.
Yeah. Good luck.
Okay.